Good evening and welcome to the Goodwin live TV show. We're now on 6th week, I believe. Let's go with 6.
It's 7.
Is it 7? There you go. And you've been away 1 week, Steve, as
Oh,
well. So
yeah.
welcome back. So today we've got with us boxer Linus Udofia, boxer Karl Myers, and Steve Goodwin. But you may well have noticed we've got a new setup behind us as well. Yeah, new location, new graphics, new bit of everything. So we're going to go through our usual stuff today. So we're going to have a review of the weekend's action. There's not really much to preview this weekend, so we're going to have a look at some other things. We've got the interactions from yourselves, so do by all means come along and ask us some questions. And we've got various other things like a reincarnation of our Chat Shit Get Banged feature, which is going to see me on the floor probably. So we're going to crack on and start off with a week at Goodwin Boxing with Steve. So you've been away for a week, haven't you? So
Watching from afar.
yeah, what's been going on?
Well, the most important thing, obviously, we haven't signed anybody in the last week.
Makes a
We've been
change.
away. You've had a week off, although that will change on Friday, we think. But what's been good is the announcements from the British Boxing Board of Control.
Yeah.
We asked for certain. What happens if nobody's aware is every manager promoter can lobby the board for their fighter to be moved towards a title.
So how does that work? You have to go to them and justify why
Yeah.
your lads
why you feel you should be given a shot at an English British title or something like that. So we lobby, and as do others, and sometimes we get decisions that we want. Other times we don't. We've had one particular request, which I won't go into, which we were shocked went against us, and it didn't go where we are. We still don't understand why not. And others went for us, but we've got some very exciting news from those board meetings as to our fighters going forward and titles that we've created for them. We'll start off with the first one, which is going to be the first Goodwin boxing fighter to contest a British title. Frank Buglioni has been given mandatory status against Hosea Burton.
And that's a bit like heavyweight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something that we were aiming to do once we met Frank and his dad. When they came to sign with us, that was the plan. We obviously lobbied for that, and the board obviously felt that Frank was the most worthy, which is great that they agreed with us. That fight now goes out to purse bids, and this is where the fun starts.
So let's clarify, Hosea Burton is a Matchroom Eddie Hearn fighter.
Well, he sort of is, isn't he? I'm not sure he's actually signed. He seems to fight.
He fights on there quite a lot.
Yeah,
doesn't he?
so obviously what happens is if by July the 13th we don't come to agreement with Hosea Burton's management, or if it's Eddie Hearn that's representing him, then then obviously the winning purse bid will stage the fight. So that's the thing with that fight. But what is for sure is that unless Hosea Burton vacates, then Frank Buglioni will fight Hosea Burton for the British title.
And even if he does vacate, then he'll get another opponent.
Yeah, Frank will get another opponent. So,
Okay.
so we're sure that definitely Frank will be the first Goodwin boxer to compete for a British title. And two other fights that are going to be for English titles. Leon McKenzie gets his long-awaited shot at Jermaine Smile.
Yeah, which he's been quite vocal about wanting.
Yeah, I mean, with Leon, what we did is he had a final eliminator against Kelvin Young in January on the copper box on a matchroom bill, and that got him the mandatory position. But in the meantime, Jermaine Smile took a fight with Leon Cameron as a voluntary, and something went a bit funny over money, and the fight was abandoned. It was nothing to do with us, but certain people weren't happy with it. But that fight collapsed. So we then asked, on the basis of that collapse, we wanted Leon to get an immediate shot at Jermaine, and that's now been granted. Same situation to purse bids, 13th of July.
Okay.
If no terms are agreed individually. And finally, the last one, two Goodwin represented fighters fight each other for the English welterweight title. Johnny Garton, who I manage, takes on Tyler Goodjohn, who's got a promotional deal with us for the English title, and that's on the 17th September, at your call.
So no purse bids required, you just take that and...
No, because we agreed, Tyler's managed by Peter Sims, so we agreed the financials with Peter.
Yeah.
That was it, job's done, the fight's on, so that didn't need to go to purse bids.
And that's a cracking fight, so you've got clash of the Mexican styles.
Yeah.
Johnny, after his Ryan Fields knockout, he'll be on a high. Tyler, so he's broken his hand, Tyler.
Yeah, he's coming back now. Well, Carl knows more about
yeah,
that.
I was going to say, Carl, you're from the same neck of the woods, and
yeah.
It's so how's he looking? He's been back training now.
Yeah, he's training really hard. He's putting it all in, so he's up for this fight more than ever, so it should be fun.
Yeah, go on, and who's going to win it?
Let's
put you on the spot.
I have to go with Tyler, don't I? Because I see him all the time. I see him training. I know what he can do.
Yeah.
As long as he does what he can do, I can't see why he can't win.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of, for people that don't know, I mean, purse bids is quite an interesting thing in boxing, I think. So what is the actual? Is it that you physically seal an envelope and hand it?
Yeah, you physically seal an envelope with a purse bid, and you have to send some money to the board as your deposit in case you win the purse bid.
Yeah.
And the board will open those envelopes from various entities at the same time, on the same date, in effect. And the one with the highest number stages the fight.
And what's interesting, you don't have to represent either the fighters.
No,
do you? You could, like, if you wanted to bid on something that had nothing to do with Goodwin, you could win it.
You could do that if it made any sense to do that.
Yeah.
And so, for example, although I'm not saying they'd want to, Hosea Burton, Frank Buglioni, you could have Queensbury Promotions.
Yeah.
Or Mick Hennessy put a bid in for it. It's possible, unlikely and not usual, but anybody can bid anything.
Yeah.
And that's the danger that people going to purse bids, is they don't know what they're getting.
Yeah.
We're slightly different than other promoters, and I think we're known for it is that we win purse bids. We have won purse bids against TV promoters. We've in the past outbid Matchroom for a purse bid, and in the past we've outbid Queensbury Promotions for purse bid.
So Joe Mullinder and
Lee Markham
was
and we outbid Matchroom for Callum Smith for Lee Markham at some point when we represented Lee Markham. So the good thing about doing that is, and we are prepared to do it, it does help our boxers get higher fees in purse bids.
Yeah.
So they will be earning more money because we're prepared to put purse bids in. Whereas if you're a promoter that doesn't put a purse bid in, and for example you go up against an Eddie Hearn fighter or a Frank Warren Queensbury fighter, then you're just going to get what you're offered.
Yeah.
Whereas if we can put a package together to get more money for them, then we'll either stage the fight, or alternatively they'll stage the fight, but they'll have to go higher.
And the purse will typically be, is it 75% to the champion?
60-40.
60-40, okay. Sorry, that's just an indulgence of my own there.
Yeah.
So, with regards to that, I mean, the people at home then will probably, I would suspect, assume that if Hosea Burton is a Matchroom fighter and you've got Frank Buglioni, the general gist, I guess, would be that most people would expect it to go to Matchroom. So, is there likely to be any surprise?
Expect the unexpected.
Fair enough.
Could well be, but expect the unexpected. Who would have thought that, that when Joe Mullinder was fighting Lee Markham, and Lee Markham is a fighter associated with the Queensbury Promotions and Frank Warren, who would imagine that we'd outbid them?
Yeah.
It happened, so always expect the unexpected.
Alright, so that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on then. Right, Kevin Josh behind the camera. I'm having problems seeing any of the comments on either of the pages, so you're going to have to fire them at me, I'm afraid.
No problem. John McCallum said, evening gents. So,
good evening, John.
Neil McHugh said, on the next Goodwin show, are you going to do a 10-bell salute to Muhammad Ali? Steve, any idea? Not sure. Might be too far.
I think July. I think everybody has recognised Muhammad Ali. We'll do this 16th of July. I think it's a bit. My gut feeling is it's just too far away. I think by then he'll have had enough tributes done. And I mean, how far do you go? Do you go July, August, September, October? I mean, I'm not. Everybody appreciates he was greatest of all time, but I'm not sure that would be necessarily the.
No worries. Terry Hayes has said Cole Winner's one of the nicest fellas in boxing. Steve, you should be proud to have him under the Goodwin umbrella.
We are.
Obviously, other
It's
than
the same Carl Myers. Sorry.
Obviously, other than watching my pal Mark Little, he enjoys watching Cole's fights. That's good. And also, Terry Hayes again. Gartman and Good John is going to be close, but I'm edging towards a Good John, win. And Mikey Dowling has put Steve Goodwin legend, want to meet him. There's obviously some other Steve Goodwin. That's it so far, gents.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. So I'm struggling to see him on the screen. So Yeah, all this new technology screwing me over.
They're liking it. I've asked them what they think, and everyone likes it. It's good.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So we're going to review from the weekend. We haven't come your way yet, Linus. Did you see Macronelli versus Kuchar at all? You've been away on holiday, haven't you?
Yeah, I did not. The only thing I've caught this weekend is Euros.
Brilliant. Well, there's been plenty of fighting action out in France.
The Russians are killing it right now.
Yeah. Russia by KO. Just send Kovalev in there, man.
Yeah.
How about yourself then, Karl?
Do you know what? Everyone's giving him a bit of stick because of what happened, but it happens in boxing, doesn't it? There's 2 men in there, one's got to lose, and he's great, isn't he? I've still got some respect for him, whether he retires or carries on, but he's a great. You can't win every fight in this game, so
yeah. So I mean, it's seen him retire on the back of it.
Yeah.
You know, he took a strong left hook and he got dropped, and it was sad to watch. I mean, I think it probably, if anything, it highlights how bad Roy Jones was when Macronelli fought him. That if Macronelli could do that to him and Kuchar could do that to Macronelli, then that shows the level at which Roy Jones will hopefully bow out of the sport.
But didn't you think it was well managed by Macronelli to get by? I mean, he's managed by Frank Warren. I thought it was well managed to get that fight with Roy Jones. It was very, very good business because Roy Jones was shot to bits. I'm sure, I don't know what he got paid, but I'm sure he got paid very well for it, and it wasn't a risky fight for him.
Yeah. I don't think you saw it, Steve. Did you? 'Cause you've been away on holiday. But one thing at the beginning of the fight, for anyone that would have seen it out there, the fight got delayed. It was at York Hall. I don't know if you've ever had this before. As they've introduced both fighters, they've stood in the middle of the ring, they've done all the grand introductions, and then the fight got delayed by 5 minutes because there was a car parked behind an ambulance at the back of York Hall.
We've had it.
I was going to say, how do you deal?
But what we do now is we block off. We've had that happen, so we get a vehicle to block off the back, so nobody can block in the ambulance. And we've stopped it because basically people, you talk about trainers, people going with the boxers, they think it's a cheap way to park.
Yeah.
So the only way to stop it is to get a vehicle and go across the front, and then only let the people who are working there, because otherwise they do it. So we've actually taken action to stop that happening.
Fair enough. No, I say it was something that stood out
it's
to me.
happened before. Yeah.
Okay. I've seen
one interaction. Mary Wheeler talk up, son. I think you're a bit quiet.
Yeah. I've got to be louder.
I keep seeing Martin Theobald, boxing's #1 anchor. So clearly a spelling mistake there by Ken.
He did actually put the other word and we decided to change it.
The anchor of the show, this description.
Yeah, so there's not really anything to preview this week, and there's very little to review from last week. So we'll move on to our bets of the week.
Before I ask you a question, what do you think of Frank Buglioni and Jose Alberton?
What do I think?
Those 2 fights. I mean, I'm not the Tyler Goodjohn. Just quickly on those 3 fights. The Tyler Goodjohn, Johnny Garton fight. I think it's a close fight. You'd have Johnny as slight, in my opinion, have him a slight favourite, but it's a really close fight. What do you think of the Burton Buglioni?
I haven't seen enough of Burton to be that educated on him, to be honest. I was discussing this with somebody on Twitter earlier, that he's almost lost in the matchroom mix, that they've got so many at that elite level, but for a British title holder, he goes under the radar so much that I haven't really been that exposed to him.
I think Frank could beat him. I think I saw him against Miles Shinkwin, apart from the fact every time he hit Miles seemed to go. Not does he go? I mean, but he got affected by the punches.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for the power punches of Jose Alberton, I think Miles Shinkwin was a better boxer.
Yeah.
Frank's got a good chin generally, so I think, and he's beaten Burton as an amateur, so I think he's got a great chance of beating him.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big threat in that division is Anthony Yarde, isn't he?
Who wants to fight? He's the one you don't want to bother with, to be honest, because there's nothing to gain and everything to lose. He's very raw at the moment, but why would you want to fight? When Anthony Yarde is at British English level, then I'm sure you'll fight him, but you're not going to fight him for meaningless titles because he's too dangerous.
Yeah.
And what do you think of Leon McKenzie, Jermaine Smile?
I think Leon wins that, personally. I think it's a good fight. I think Leon, I don't think has shown his best yet, personally. I don't know anyone else has a view on it, but I think he has boxed within himself to date. I think as a southpaw he's going to be awkward. Smile, I don't see. I think Leon's got more levels to go to than what Smile has.
It'd be a great story if Leon could win.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a great fight again. So that would be, we'll expect that to take place September, October as well. So the 3 great fights.
I think what's interesting about that one as well is that Leon's also won the British Eliminator, hasn't he?
Yes.
So you've got Callum Smith there holding the British super middleweight.
Can I just say something now? I won't be chasing that one.
Yeah, I mean Callum's presumably going to be okay
exactly.
shortly, isn't
But
he?
Leon, if he wins the English, you've got to say, having won an English and a British Eliminator, he's got to be banging line for a British title if he wins.
No,
it.
absolutely. So then you've got Paul Smith, Rocky Fielding, and then Leon knocking about at that level. That's an exciting division domestically.
It's great that our fighters are now competing at this level. This
Yeah.
is great. You see the uplift every 6 months to a year. Our fighters are moving on and competing at higher levels. It's
Yeah.
That
great.
is a great fight though. That is smart. Smart Mackenzie. That's a great fight.
Who do you fancy, Carl?
I like them both.
Oh, you know John Wayne, don't you?
Yeah, I like them both. You know.
That's not what we asked, Carl. Come on. Didn't ask which one you like.
I like them, but a draw.
Draw.
Let's go a draw now. I like them both. I think they both can win if they bring their best on the day. You know. So, but I like them both. They're both nice men and both train hard. And
Yeah. Linus, what are you going with? We're not going to get an answer out of Carl. Give it up.
I'm not really too educated on
Anything.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm not really too educated on either fighter, but I did watch the what's his name, Dalton Miller and
John McCown.
yeah, I want to watch that. That looks good. If they're throwing chairs now, I want to see what they're going to do when they get in the
So Linus says, get to your call on the 16th of July for Dalton Miller.
Yeah.
Is that going to be your style when you're in a head-to-head? Are you,
Oh,
a few fights down the line, are you going to be chucking chairs?
No, I think I'm more of a Shannon Briggs. Stop talking. Let's go, champ.
Have we got any interactions I need to handle, Kev?
Mohammed Mustafa said, big up Linus, keep at it. Carl Wheeler's mum's just said, laugh out loud. She obviously didn't hear your thing. Terry Chappendama has put, will he chase Leon McKenzie versus Darryl Williams?
Leon McKenzie is actually ahead of Darryl Williams. So why would we want to step backwards? I'm not saying that Darryl is. I think Darryl's a great fighter, but it offers us nothing when we've already got an English title shot.
And then Gary Barron, obviously dad and trainer of Sam Barron, has just put, be backing our boy Jermaine Smile. Sorry, boys. So, there goes from there. So that's it at the moment.
Alright, we're going to move on to our bets of the week. So last week I successfully retired Enzo Macronelli by picking him to win.
Strikes again.
Yeah, so I lost that one. Josh and Steve went for Lomachenko at 1 to 10 and both won. He's a hell of a talent, isn't he? Christ almighty.
But that 1 to 10 should have been 1 to 110. It was.
Yeah.
I remember I had a massive bet on him for the just go sidetrack. I had a massive bet on him for the Olympics when he won the Olympics.
Oh, right, for the second time.
He was 1 to 3 when he was in London. What do you think 1 to 3 win the Olympics in London?
Yeah.
It's cracking, but anyway, carry on.
Yeah. And Kev went for Provodnikov, who managed to lose to Molina. So yeah, that leaves our standings at present then. We've got Josh, who's presently £80 up. Steve, who's £130 down. Kev, who's £340 down. Woohoo! Mine's £476 down. So I'm going to have to start betting on like individual rounds as of next week. So for this week, it's fairly sparse on action. So we've actually all got the same bet. So fuck you lot, frankly. I'm going to come and ruin yours now. Andre from Farah to beat Joe Smith Jr. at 1 to 18, which seems a bit of a dead cert.
But that Joe Smith, he's been one of those that's just fought around the clubs in America. He's just fought clubs. He's just not fought on any major thing. He's just one of those builds up false records in America.
Right.
That's all it is. Just a choice.
And from Farah, I mean, the way he dealt with
Cleverly. I mean,
that's a hell of a fight.
Total mismatch, but on paper the guy's got an okay record, but he's just been fighting bums in clubs.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to come on now and have a talk with Karl Myers. So Karl, how are you doing?
yeah, well, I think all good.
You've come over from Peterborough for the day, for those that aren't aware of Karl's, where he's from. So you're cruiserweight, current international and British challenge belt.
Yeah, that's right.
Champion.
Yeah.
So let's talk, because I mean you've had a very disrupted career, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you had a number of fights at the beginning, and there were a few of those on the road, weren't there as well?
I was fighting all the way fights, and I retired at 13 fights, and I had 8 years out of the sport, and I came back because my son kind of got me into it. Everyone knows the story now, so I won't go into that story. But
So your son on Reeves over there.
I came back. I came back, and now I'm doing alright again. I've had one loss since I've been back, but you know you can't win every fight, and
Yeah.
I'm doing alright now. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Got them 2 belts, which I'm over the moon about, and the kids are happy. So
Yeah.
just got to keep going.
You are one of the nicest men in the sport, has to be said. It's, so in terms of your recent fights, you had the Biola Kudos fight. So there was a fair bit of needle in the build-up to that, right? So I've got to ask you about that. So,
From his side, there was like.
well, that's true. You stayed out of it.
Yeah.
right? The one thing that I remember specifically about it was the Spencer Fearon video where he went with Biola and did.
Yeah. He called me a bum.
He called you a bum, that was it.
So if you lose to a bum and get stopped by a bum, what's that you know, just the way it is, isn't it?
Did you find that disrespectful as a fighter?
Yeah, I found it awful, and it just all I was thinking about is my family who are watching it at home, and it's like you calling me a bum, and even my kids were asking people, why is he saying my dad's a bum for? I'm like, this guy's got to get hurt, so and it's just it's gave me a fire to want to win, and we'll see what happens next. And
Yeah.
I'm there now.
And I've
Just on that, sorry, we've had Biola who's watching this fight. Evening, Biola. Hi, Karl. I'd love to have the rematch. Our last fight was stopped prematurely. Let's have a big rematch in September. We'll sell out your call.
Right, okay. Right.
There you go, Carl.
Here's the message to you. Win something, get somewhere, or do something good, and start fighting bombs, and I'll fight you. As simple as that. Why would I want to fight now for? It don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Win something, then I'll be more than happy to have a fight again and rematch. But just take the loss as a man. That's what I've done. All my losses, I've got 6 of them. I'll take them as a man and do the next thing. Have the next fight. Do the same, mate. Go and fight and win something, then come back. Then we'll fight.
Very well put. So yeah, I think Biola you're fighting down in Portsmouth, I think.
So can I say, Biola, to his credit, has taken a hard fight in Portsmouth. He's taken on Tomislav Rudan in Portsmouth. And that is no easy fight. I mean, he could have took a much easier fight.
Coldfoot is what didn't it?
Coughlin as well, yeah. You fought Tomislav Rudan, didn't you?
Yeah.
But you fought really well against him. He's a tough man, isn't he?
Yeah, he's tough. Yeah.
And now Biola's fighting him as well. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I thought he's a good fighter, and I think Carl done a brilliant job with him.
Yeah.
But you improve. You're definitely improving all the time.
Yeah, I feel like I am. I feel like I'm getting better each fight, and you know, everyone says my age is this, my age is that, but I feel like I'm 20 years old.
How old are you?
I'm 34 now.
34?
Just turned, but you know, I train harder than any 20-year-old out there. I believe, and age is a number, so I've got 5, 6, 7 years left. Let's keep going.
Excellent. So what are your aspirations now? I mean, with the belts that you've got Wadi Camacho at Southern Area. Now you and Wadi are quite close, in you know?
Yeah.
So is that a fight you want? Tell him.
You know what? I'm a very honest man. I'm as honest as they come, and he is a level of above me at the minute. I'm not saying I won't get there, but at the minute he is level ahead, and
Yeah.
you know, if he says level ahead, I'll stay where I am and I keep climbing still, and I'll support him like he does me as well, and that's what we do.
It's not a fight I'd want to have.
No.
I'm being facetious. It's fine.
He's nice, but that's me being truthful. He's level ahead, you know. It's just the way it is.
And he's improving, isn't he, Wadi?
Yeah,
Well,
he is,
recently he's getting better as well. I mean,
Yeah.
But hopefully, when Wadi moves on, you'll get the crack.
Yeah, of course. That's what I mean. It's always is. Hopefully, it'll always be the level ahead. So when he goes for belts, I'll go for belts after him, and yeah.
So that Biola fight, that's a bit of a war as well, wasn't it? So you got put down.
No, I didn't go down.
Oh, did you not? Sorry, no, you.
No, I didn't go
Sorry,
down.
no, you know. I'm trying to remember. There was so many of them.
No, he got caught in the first, didn't he?
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, yeah.
I'm hearing a lot of stuff. Everyone's saying the first round this, the first round that. It was an 8-round fight. It's like.
Wait, it wasn't in the end, was it?
Yeah, but everyone's saying, but he caught in the first round. It's like we're throwing punches at each other. You are going to get hit. It's like, did anybody see the second round? What happened then? It's like you're going to get hit, and it's boxing, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, and I mean, you've got quite a documented relationship with your son. You take him. I've got to ask about your dance routine when you came down to the ring with him.
Yeah.
Are you going to relive that at any point?
We change it up all the time. We just do random stuff all the time. But last fight, the Biola fight is more serious. You know, I didn't want to have the dancing about and being silly. I wanted to really focus, and that's why I just done the walk. Like he was still there, but I was serious mode then. No games, no playing about, but it'd be more playing about and dancing and games, and you know, I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice fun man. So let's have fun while on this journey.
Yeah.
But,
so what are your aspirations in that? I mean, in terms of, you say you've got 6-7 years left in your career, how far do you perceive that you're going to be going in that time?
I think I'm capable to win the English, I believe, and I want to fight for the British, same as every boxer wants to fight for that belt. Whether I win it or not, that's another story. I'm not going to say, I'm going to win this, I'm going to be a world champion because I'm a realist, you know. Who knows how far I can go. It's up to me and how hard I train and my team, what route we take. So let's just take every fight as it comes, and I've just got to keep training hard. And
yeah. And you feel like with that break that you've had, you know, an older person, you've got possibly, you know, you're wiser probably than when you were a 20-something-year-old fighting.
When I was first fighting, I turned pro when I was 20 years old, so it's 14 years ago. It's a long time, and then it was more of a I'm a pro. It's more of a name. It was more of a I'm cool. I'm a pro boxer. Where now it's like I've got to leave my kids something, or feed my kids, or I've got to give them somewhere to live. It's like different now. It's serious. It's like it's not a game no more. It's I've got to make it, or I've got to be a man and chuck on the and get a job like every other man in the world. You know, that's it.
Yeah. All right, excellent. Have we got any interactions for Karl that we need to fire at?
Just the one back from Biola. Just said I have taken a loss. I'm fighting Portsmouth, a hard fight. I win then we can fight in London in September. Let's do it, Steve. Let's make it happen.
Biola, I wish you all the best on your fight. Okay. Just win something or do something good. Let's build a big fight. Win something, and I wish you all the best. But am I interested in the fight? I think I'll beat you again, probably the same way. But do we have to take it now for nothing? No. Let's build it up. You win something or I win something.
Maybe it's like for Southern area or something down the line.
That's what I mean. We can fight for something big. Let's do it then. Let's not have another fight again where it's for nothing. Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, going back to not want to too much. That Spencer Fearon stuff, I found it really weird. Yeah. You know, as a boxing fan, like somebody who. It's only a personal view, but somebody who paints himself as the knowledge and very respectful in the sport, to actually take personal digs at someone, I personally found it.
I found it awful. It was disrespectful because he is a respected man in the sport.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
And for him to diss a fighter who he dissed me, and I actually have a better record than he had.
Yeah.
So for him to diss me on my record and who I was upsetting. Okay, yes, it was upsetting, but it was disrespectful. It was totally out of order. His record is 13-6, is it? 13-6-9 or something like that, or 12-6-9. I'm the same, but you know, for him to say what he said was bad, but whatever. It might have been trying to wind me up for the fight, so I respect that. You know, same as Mr. Smith, he was doing the same, trying to wind me up for the fight. If anything, all his team got his boy in trouble. That's what they done. So
there you go, lesson learned.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on now and come and chat with our man Linus. So here, you look bored there, man. You're right.
Bored? This is my side first.
All right, so Linus is a middleweight, one fight into your career, comprehensive points victory. What was that? March 19th. March 19th. Okay, so like you haven't got the long and storied career of say Karl, but you've got an interesting amateur background.
What do you find interesting?
That's your bloody job. Yeah, do everything. So you had a very short amateur background then, in terms of like you were successful, and it was quite short, but you then you've turned pro quite young. And there's a lot of high hopes around you from what you've achieved. So can you talk us through your amateur background?
Yeah, I started boxing when I was, I think I first stepped into a boxing gym when I was 17, just before I turned 18. And I don't know, boxed for about 3 months. And I was in training for about 3 months, and then my coach at the time said, "Oh, we got you a fight." And I had no interest in fighting, really. I just wanted to do it, get built, learn how to fight, I guess.
That was at Hockwell, wasn't it, in
Yeah,
Luton?
Hockwell ring in Luton. And I didn't, I had no interest in really fighting. But when he said, "Oh, I've got a fight for you. Do you want it?" I said, "Yeah, let's do it." But at the time, it's just one of those things where you say yeah, but you don't really know what you're.
You actually got to get in a ring.
Yeah, you don't really know what you don't really know what you're signing up to. And then comes to about a week before the fight, and then everyone started building up and everyone started hyping me up for it, and I thought, I'm actually going to fight. This might not be what I wanted to do. Got to the venue, it was in Hemel Hempstead, and I was fighting a homeboy who was a traveller, and he must have had about 100, 150 people there, and just he looked like a monster as well. He was colossal. And after I beat him, and everyone was just going nuts, and just I don't know, the feeling of winning, it was just great. So I wanted to do it some more. And yeah, the rest is kind of history.
So you, how many amateurs did you have? Wasn't it?
33 fights, lost 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an impressive record, I suppose, for some. But I mean, what prompted you then at such a young age to, with relatively little amateur background, to have a go at the pros so early?
I've always felt like when I started, my style was more suited for like the professional game, and there's amateurs never really interested me in a sense of when you win certain things, it's not always what you win is who they want in a certain who they want to bring up in a certain place,
Right.
It's not always what you win.
So I mean, I've seen you. Actually, I've sparred you as well for an unsuccessful round or two.
Equals.
You beat me up for 3 minutes. You're quite an elusive lad, aren't you? Like you don't go on the front foot looking. You're a counter puncher. You work off the back foot and kind of almost Mayweather-esque, but that sounds slightly stupid for somebody who's had one fight. Is that how you describe yourself, like style-wise?
Yeah, I've always been a defensive fighter. When I first started boxing, my coaches explained to me that boxing was all about not getting hit, as opposed to hitting people. You see people beat each other up, but he always explained to me it's more about not getting hit. He explained to me that you can win a fight if the person hasn't hit you the whole round. And I've always had it myself. I don't like getting punched. No one likes. I don't like getting punched. No one likes getting punched. And I've always made my anything I did, all the fighters I even watch, all defensive fighters. I've never been interested. I've been successful doing fighting defensive my whole life, so
yeah,
I don't really see a reason to change.
But you got a very sharp counter right. That I've seen.
Which one?
The overhand.
It's my favourite one. Don't let everyone know. It's a surprise. Don't let everyone know.
So you've had one fight so far then, back in March. You're out again in July on the big summer fight one. So what can fans who haven't seen you before, the ones that weren't there in March, what can they expect from you? Are you going to be elusive again, or are you going to step it, come front foot a little bit?
It all depends on my opponent, really. It all depends on whatever he gives me. I take if he comes in front foot, I'll go back foot. You're just going to see a professional boxing display, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. My last fight, I feel like I was more front foot, but you guys were watching. So what did you think?
I thought you were terrible. No, I thought it was a very accomplished display. Like for somebody making their pro debut and all the the pressure that comes with it. Plus, this man Steve has got very, very high hopes and expectations out of you. Which, how does that affect you as a fighter? I'll come on to in a sec. But for somebody who's making their pro debut and the fans that are there backing you, I thought you looked as you do in sparring, which was sharp and athletic, and you're very elusive. I think that's probably the best way of describing your style. But what did you reckon, Steve?
Well, it was an impressive pro debut, and I think Linus will end up being one of Luton's biggest ever boxing stars.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, you've had Udofia, you've had Graham Earl, people like that in Luton, and he'll be up there with them.
Does that put pressure on you, Linus?
Incentive.
Because you're a very confident young man, aren't you, in what you
Gotta
do?
be. I think I'm invincible. You have to be.
So how far are you going?
How tall can a tree grow?
Depends what tree, mate, doesn't it? If you're a bonsai, you're fucked. But you think you can match your expectations that Steve has and hopes?
I can walk above them.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Have we got any interactions for Linus?
No, not as of yet.
No fans.
No fans. You'll build them. Don't worry about that.
I don't know if there's a slight delay where there's obviously we've got a lot of people pulling off the same internet, so I don't know whether ours is slightly delayed. That's why you might be having trouble, but technical problems, don't worry.
Don't worry about it, it'll be fine. So, Steve, I mean, how did you come about Linus?
Well, basically came through the K Prosper Terry Stewart. Obviously, Linus and Karl are friends.
Yeah.
I took K over back end of last year. And Linus obviously saw what was happening to Kay and how Kay's career was getting moved on. Came to one of the shows. Terry recommended he sign with us. Came up, met, and just signed up. And really, it's just an easy thing, wasn't it? I mean, Linus didn't hang about. Just come sign, got it done.
So what's it like for you then, Linus, being offered a pro contract with one of the biggest promoters in the country? Haven't had a fight yet.
It was really... can't really find a word to describe it, but it was...
Was it a compliment or...
Oh yeah, of course, it was a very big compliment. I thought, oh, finally, do you know what I mean? I've been putting in a lot of time. It's time to show, do you know what I mean? It's time to show this is where I belong and this is why he's investing in me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's time to kind of, just kind of prove myself and smash it.
He could be the man that brings back boxing to Luton football ground. I mean, Kay could do it, but we've missed the summer, and so it may well happen. But if it's not Kay, it'll be Linus.
Or a pair of both of you.
You never know. It's even possible, isn't it? Possible.
We have had one interaction for Linus. Linus is a cutie, and that's none other than K Prosper.
And camera angle.
JP Smith has commented, said, love the new format, chaps. The show is going from strength to strength. Kudos to Steve, Kevin, Martin and Josh. Loving this show.
Oh, good man, JP. So, I mean, touching on what we were saying there about Linus starting off his career and coming to Steve. So, Karl, I mean, along the same lines, when you came back to the sport, how did you... You didn't immediately link up with Steve, did you?
No, I didn't, but I did actually meet Steve first, before.
Did you mug him off?
Yeah, he got rid of
Unbelievable!
Oh, actually, I met Steve way before I got my licence back. Yeah, way before I got my licence back. I was going through the process to get my licence back, and I was meeting quite a few people then, but I was promised home shows from somebody else, and I had to take the home show opportunity because that's what we need back in our town. So I decided to go with somebody else then, but the contract ended. I went with Steve, and it's the best move I've made my whole career. And I'm an oldie, so I've been with everyone, so it's good.
It's difficult for boxing because at the end of the day, when I met Karl, we were 3 years away from where we are now, so we weren't anywhere near as big as we are now.
Yeah. And
the problem in boxing is that a lot of people, whereas what I say to everybody, whatever we say, we do, whatever we promise, we deliver. But boxers like Karl will go there and somebody will turn around to him and say, and he doesn't know me particularly well at that time, and be promising in this, promising in that, but when it comes down to it, you didn't deliver it. Yeah, but you're buying into an expectation.
That's what I was going to say.
Exactly.
I promised the world from everyone, the world, and Steve's the only one who's gave me it so far. He's gave me what he said, and that's what we're starting to build a great relationship. So. It's going great.
And you've got a little pocket of fighters out there in Peterborough. You've got Tyler, yourself, Bradley Smith is out there. Is there any hope, do you reckon? I mean, have you ever discussed it with Steve about taking a show?
We've talked about it.
Yeah.
You've got to get together, haven't you?
Matt Barnes there, Liam Goodwin as well. So
Yeah.
a few of us.
And Sam Barron.
Yeah, Sam Barron. Like
I mean, there is a nucleus of doing it, but the problem you got at the moment, Tyler's stuck with the Johnny Garton fight, which is going to happen in London. So to make it work, you need the whole group of them to be involved on a certain time, and you need a good fight at the top of the bill.
Yeah.
So I think it can happen, but it's probably looking towards the end of the year to make it viable, I think.
Okay, well hopefully, fingers crossed.
About that, like, that's great, that is great, and that's what we was kind of looking towards having a home show at the end of the year, so that's great to hear from me, and I can't wait for that.
I guess as a promoter it makes life easier when you've got a pocket of fighters in the same area.
Well, it's pretty difficult to do a show unless you're working with people in the area. With Portsmouth, Michael Ballingall promotes down there, we work with him, but we've got fighters that I manage, fighters that he manages, and we pull them all together and we create a show, which is great. And the same thing will be in the Cambridgeshire area, and that's what you need to do. The problem you've got, you can't go to an area if one fighter's managed by one person, one's managed by another, because it sounds crazy in boxing, but other managers in an area that you want to promote sometimes have an interest in making sure you foul.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult. You have to get a nucleus of fighters to make it work in an area, otherwise it will fail.
Yeah. Have we got any interactions we need to hit on, Kev?
Yeah, K-Pross are getting together. Me and Linus will rock Kenilworth Road one day.
I hope to see it.
That'd be great. It's the plans. Russ Jones has commented, what route are you looking to take in the future, Cole? I think everyone should avenge their losses and wouldn't mind seeing a rematch between you and Viola. Although it only went 2 rounds, it was still very entertaining. Best of luck for the future. P.S. The format is looking 100 times better. Good work, guys.
Can I answer this Bowler thing once for all? Because Bowler's a nice guy. He's not what he portrayed himself to be in that lead up to that fight. I don't manage Karl. Steve Whitwell does, but I'm sure Steve will agree. When you've gone and beaten somebody and you're 34 years of age, and your next step is a Southern Area title, and you know Waddy Camacho has got that Southern Area title, and it's only a matter of short time before he moves on to an English title. Karl wants to fight for Southern Area. There is no point in going over old ground unless it's for a Southern Area or an English title. So if Karl gets a Southern Area title shot and he wins it, he might give Viola a voluntary, and it may be a big fight for him. But that will be up to Steve to decide the options at that point in time. There's absolutely 0 point a fight of 6 or 8 rounds for a challenge belt, and it serves absolutely no purpose for Karl whatsoever. It serves a purpose for Viola, but Karl's management team, Steve, and his promoter, we're looking to actually make sure that the fights he have an aim and a purpose, not just to go over old ground. It's absolutely pointless. That's the end of it. But maybe down the line, in the future, that fight may happen, but it would have to be for at least a Southern Area title. Fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. End of.
That's why you have a promoter.
That is why I just go in there and fight and get hit, and that's it. You guys sort out all the other stuff.
So touching on the Kenilworth Road stuff, Linus, as Kay says, bringing boxing back to Kenilworth Road. It was Barry McGuigan, I think, the last fought there. Is that an aspiration of yours to? I know you're a big football fan yourself. Is that an aspiration? Get a fight on in your hometown of Luton?
Oh yeah, I couldn't really imagine that. Imagine fighting for a title in your hometown around everyone you've grown up with.
Yeah.
Your family and stuff. That's monumental.
Well, we did look at. I'm not going to go over old ground again. I'll start getting dodgy texts from other managers. But, we were sort of looking at the K-Pross Michael Devine scenario, but Michael wants to stay at lightweight. Kay is a light welterweight. Maybe they'll catch weight at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's trying to say Michael Devine is scared of fighting Kay. Michael's going to fight Tommy Martin. He's now going to fight Floyd Moore in Portsmouth, so we've got full respect for him. But maybe one day that fight will happen, and that would be a big enough fight to maybe do it at the football stadium.
Yeah.
But you couldn't do a Kay Prosper doing an 8-rounder with Linus doing a 6-rounder and do it at Kenilworth Road. And also, you've got to remember that Luton boxing is fragmented. You remember what I said about the Cambridgeshire thing? You've got Mohammed Mustafa, managed by Joe Elford. You've got Michael Devine, managed by James, trained by Mervyn Turner. So you've not got a nucleus of fighters. It's really difficult to pull all this together. Yeah. We'd need a few more Luton fighters to turn over with us, and then we perhaps could make it work.
Gonna get Jordan Reynolds.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have to be Jordan, but you could. That's what you need. You just need a few Luton fighters to pull together and maybe 3 or 4 turnover this year, and we might be able to make something happen there.
Yeah. Okay. Exciting stuff. Right, we're going to move on to our tweets of the week from last year. So I've branched out a little bit. Last year? Never mind that. Last week. I've branched out a little bit this week, and I've gone to Facebook as well. So we're going to start off. You just mentioned Floyd Moore. I've got a picture here, but I think Kev, working his magic with our new setup, has managed to get these a little bit more visible. Floyd Moore was mentioned by his missus, Nikki Hartley, saying, I left Floyd to cook his steak in the kitchen. House started getting a bit smoky. Went to the kitchen, see a half-cooked charger too. If this boy had a brain. Fancy some charger with that steak, babe. So yeah, well done, Floyd. I hope you've got a nutritionist or somebody out there looking after your food. Guillermo Rigondeaux, so somebody I guess you probably look up to, Linus, is one of the most elusive fighters.
He's up there.
So I liked his tweet this week. Somebody had tweeted him saying, would love Jazza Dickens, so that's the Frank Warren fighter, Jazza Dickens, to upset Rigondeaux. So Rigondeaux being the WBA bantamweight champion. More balls than Frampton and Quigg put together, who have both swerved him significantly. Fair play to the bloke. To which Rigondeaux replied, if someone is ever going to beat me, I'd rather it be a true warrior like Jazza and not one that rather fights the easy fights. So I think as a boxing fan, that probably sums it up. That you're kind of fed up of looking at fighters kind of taking easy fights. I know there's one we were chatting about with...
I mean, so these world titles, I'm going to just chip in before we go, these world title fights are becoming a joke. I mean, seriously, Terry Flanagan against Farmer, a 42-year-old, who's lost 5 of his last 12 fights, 38-9 record. It's a joke.
Yeah.
And you're trying to portray that as a world title fight. It's just a joke. Now, the Ricky Burns one, when he went and won the title, the guy wasn't really good enough. But that was his chance to win a world title, so I get that.
Yeah.
But Terry Flanagan, who they're supposed to be chasing Crawler, that's a joke.
Yeah, especially when you see today Crawler's got Linares
now
announced today. That's a huge fight.
And Flanagan fights Farner.
Yeah. It follows on from the Liam Smith Predrag Radozovic.
Yeah, well, that's not world title fight,
which was crap. Like, as much as, I got critiqued last week for somebody saying that it's not Liam Smith's fault. It's partly Liam Smith's fault, in my view. Like, put more pressure on your management, your promotional team to get you legitimate fights.
But most boxers would listen to put faith in their promoter, and I think maybe there's a business decision from a promoter, but it's not good for the sport to portray that as a world title fight. People will watch it and be turned off by it. But to a certain extent, boxers, I mean, he's got Joe Gallagher, who's a brilliant trainer, a fellow judge, and then they've got the promotional team. Liam probably doesn't have a lot of say in the opponents, to be honest with him, but I mean, it isn't good enough, is it?
You feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
Josh Kennedy, one of your own fighters.
Like Josh. Handsome Josh
Kennedy, who's doing his best not to look handsome in the photo he put up on Facebook this week. But he just finished 6 rounds sparring with the champ George Jupp, who beat Mitchell Smith, didn't he, not too long ago. Now, boxing is one of the most toughest sports in the world. Work on your English, Josh. Then I catch a glimpse of myself in the reflection of a car window and look like I've just finished a dance rehearsal at Pineapple Dance Studios. Which, wow, that is one hell of an outfit, son. That's impressive. Final one, speaking of Liam Smith, somebody had tweeted him an article that they'd written about where does he go next, and the article was pretty shocking. I read it myself. And Liam Smith quite brutally just responded, this article is why you only have 67 followers. Which, in terms of putting somebody down, well done, Liam. Right, and that's it. We're done for the week. There's nothing else that we can possibly do this week. I mean, clearly we've run out of time right now as well. Although I'm getting some horrified looks behind the camera. So we're going to rebirth, possibly, is that the right term? Our Chat Shit Get Banged feature, which is going to involve Karl, it's going to involve Linus, and it's going to involve me. Right, so I'm going to, with the help of possibly Kev, put on... why am I doing this? Put on this body belt. So...
You have to move the chairs, you have to move Linus and move the chairs.
I appreciate they'll be there.
Just do that.
Still live.
Yeah, still live, yeah.
There'll be those out there saying I don't need a body belt with my physique.
Tell you what, good idea. Let's leave it loose so it falls off and he gets a total whack.
Oh, go fuck yourself! Right, what we're going to do, these two pussies are going to have a go at trying to floor me. We're going to build up a little league table.
No, I'm right-handed, but I prefer my left foot. What do you think?
Don't matter which hand, son, because you're shit. And you can't punch.
Remember, this is a new league table of speed.
Yeah, don't forget we're going to do like a league table.
So we're going to build up a league table
ready.
of the most pathetic boxes.
You get a minute. No, you can do both.
You got to try and take
Only one.
Right, so you've got to forgive Linus because Linus has been away on holiday with his missus that's well out of his league. You know, if she's watching, get yourself a new man because as you're about to see, he's not much of a man. So Linus is a little bit out of practice. So he's got to try and drop me within a minute, and we're going to keep a league table over time. Which fighters can drop me the quickest? So have we got a stopwatch?
We have.
Right. So then, Mr. Udofia, the man who can't punch, the elusive fighter. There's no getting away from this, sunshine. Only to the ear, nothing to the head.
Mind your hands, Martin, because you each of the fingers
Hands on
in
your
your
head,
hand. Yeah, hands on your head, Martin. Otherwise,
Hands on my head.
3,
2.
1, go.
You pussy! You pussy! Fuck me!
That cut by 2.67 seconds. Carl, 13.67 seconds.
that's alright. That's alright. You just going in with the cruiserweight now.
Right, I move from middle to cruiserweight. Another one who can't punch.
One-handed he's going.
Oh, he's only got.
Oh, his face camera.
Fuck's sake.
Let's go, champ.
Right, I'm going to last longer than Biola. Too late, I said it. Right.
3, 2, 1.
Let's roll. Oh! 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 You bastard! Oh! Come on! Fuck! Oh!
This is 9.3 seconds.
That's good.
Oh, Jesus! It's almost harder protection than I imagined. Oh man!
Not leading the table.
Ah, cruiserweight.
Great feature, this.
Work.
Great feature.
Great feature. Yeah, I'm glad you like
This is now a regular parent speech, guys.
Right, so each week, I'm going to try and top
9.3.
9.3. Ah, fuck's sake. Ah, let me get my breath back. Viola, you're not invited on because you're going to hurt me now.
Yeah, you didn't last longer, did you?
Sorry?
You didn't last longer though, did you?
I didn't last longer at all. I take it all back. You smashed me to pieces. Oh, right. Have we got any interactions?
When it come out, Joe, just laugh in your faces.
Right. On that note, then, we will thank you all for tuning in. Thank you very much, of course, to Karl and to Linus for smashing me in. Thank you to Steve as well for obviously being here and returning from Turkey, and you're off again to Vegas soon, aren't you?
Yeah, next week. Well, I've got one more of these and then I'm off again.
So thank you very much, everyone, and we'll catch you soon.